Alrighty then. Hello. This is your Reverend Dr. Rhapsody, aka your friendly neighborhood growth hacker, aka Rhapsody Barrero. I have not put out a video in a very long time, and I was going to give myself the excuse of not making one today because I was feeling a little uncomfortable, I'll say, because I'm a cardiac patient, survivor of congestive heart failure, and sometimes I just don't feel quite, 100%. And it's just one of the things that I've picked up as a result of being in the company of positive, productive, upward thinking people. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just take the action. You continue taking the action, and your product gets to be better, and you eventually wind up being like this guy. This is ISOM, the key character in the newly found comic book company, the Rippaverse, put together by a young man by the name of Eric D. July, and you can find him at Eric D. July on Twitter. It's Young Rippa 59 on YouTube, and he's a musician. He's with a band called Backwards. He's also been a political commentator and a commentator of the modern state of media, so to speak. And it just got to a point, it's just got to get that way not for everybody, but for some people, because some people are more than happy to spend the rest of their life just complaining about how bad things are and letting that just be what they're doing. He's got a huge following from his political commentary, from his metal band experience, and from his movie reviews and such. But Eric took it upon himself, and he was like, you know what? Instead of continuing to just complain like everybody else, he said, I'm going to just start my own comic book company. So he started his own comic book company. ISOM #1 came out last year to the tune of $3.7 million. Amazing. The ISOM #2 campaign is running right now, and it is currently running in excess of $2 million. There is money to be made when you put your heart, your soul, and your finances toward what you're passionate about, and that's what he did. He didn't go through Kickstarter or any of that other stuff. I mean, you might have to do that if you don't have an extra $200,000 or $300,000 just sitting around. For him, he just happened to have an extra $200,000 or $300,000 sitting around, and he launched this comic book company, and he's doing really great. And this is just one of the T-shirts. He's got the ISOM T-shirt, the Yaira T-shirt, and he recently hired on the Saska sisters. They've already completed Yaira #1, and I'm not gonna give away any secrets. You need to buy ISOM #1 to find out who Yaira is. And also, he's got a thing going on. If you can go to therippaverse.com and look into this. If you missed out on ISOM #1, he is offering ISOM #1 right now at a ridiculous discount. It's like 50% off, something crazy like that. Just to help you get caught up with the story. And it's a really good story. A really, really, really good story. And for me, it was the first time I ever bought a comic book. I grew up in a house. My older sister was all over some comic books. She loved her some Fantastic Four. She loved her some Doctor Strange. She was all over the Marvel, all over the DC. Has one of the original Superman comic books. And that's just the way that went. So, hey, look him up, ripaverse.com, and help independent creators make moves to replace the crap that is now Hollywood. There's no, yeah, I love it, man. Here, I mean, he's even got a code of ethics on the website. He is all about the customers. We're talking about Eric July, or Young Ripper as we call him on YouTube, Young Ripper 59, Eric D. July. And he's not going to do, well, first of all, they're all original characters, so there's no need to race swap or gender swap or any of that other tomfoolery that Marvel and DC and whoever else feels is necessary, as just a way to commandeer something that was near and dear to our hearts, that we loved, that we grew up on, and just make it something different and put the message somewhere in the story or all throughout the story so that they can feel good about turning your children trans, okay? Because they're literally singing songs now titled "We're Coming for Your Children." So they're coming for your children. Boycott Disney. Boycott Marvel. Boycott Star Wars. Boycott Star Trek, because they're not even a semblance of what they once were. They're really not. And it's explained in a way that makes a lot of sense, because the people that wrote Star Wars and Star Trek and early Disney, they had actual life experience. The episodes that you're seeing today of whatever Star Wars show they have going on or whatever Star Trek show they have going on, they're basically written by children who have had no experience with life, and they're just trying to promote whatever message of diversity, inclusion, exclusivity, or inclusivity, whatever you want to call it, that they're promoting today. And it's unfortunate because it's just so not what it was. And I understand you wanting to put a new flavor on something to make it fresher, but I mean, just a perfect example. Perfect example. The story of Snow White is eons old. Nowhere back in the eons was Snow White anything but white. It's in the title. And she had 7 dwarfs. Not one dwarf and 6 various and sundry other whatevers that had nothing to do with dwarfism or dwarfdom. Okay, I get distracted. I get sidetracked because this stuff is just really frustrating to me. Because I'm the kind of guy that, I mean, even as a young adult, if I was going to a movieplex, I would pay for one movie and see, I don't know, maybe another 3 or 4 movies because, yeah, I know it's not right. And I just figured, well, there were seats. I was there. I'll just go. And to see movies, and like what they did, oh my goodness. What they did as the Indiana Jones swan song was horrific. And that's what they seem to do, or they want to do, with all of our tried and true heroes. Same thing they did with Luke Skywalker. They're old, they're decrepit, they just want to crawl away and die. They're no longer the source of inspiration, the source of adventure that we had grown to know and love. To replace them with some broad that just showed up. Okay, I know some girls are unhappy with the use of the word broad, but just get over that. Some woman that shows up who's already made. She didn't have to go through any character arc. She was just perfect whenever she got there. She didn't have to learn anything. She didn't have to go through anything. We call that a Mary Sue. So you get these Mary Sue characters that show in to show up and take the place of the old man, the old decrepit, worthless creature that we remember as a vibrant, young, strapping, adventurous, devil may care, get the job done kind of person. Okay, I think that's all I need to do about that. Oh, and the reason I started this video was I had for the longest time wondered what it might be like to just make a video about me just out and about living my day. And it's a little late in the day for that now. The sun's already down. It's like after 8 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast. I was going to say in New York. No, I'm in Georgia, in Metro Atlanta. And so this was going to be my first effort in that direction. And I really want to see about doing this every day, just to do it. Because I figure there's one of the other byproducts of this was that I figure it would be a way to reach out to people who might not have an assortment of friends to talk to. In case you want to have somebody to talk to, I'm here to talk to you. And my battery is dying out. Like I said, it's late in the day. And so if this falls off, just know that I love you, know that I'm here for you. Feel free to make a comment, leave a comment. Keep it positive, will you please? If you're going to troll, go troll with somebody else, because I'm here to share love, to spread love, to offer suggestions, direction. I'm not the Reverend Dr. Rhapsody for nothing. I know a thing or two about a thing or two. And it's a judgment-free zone. Whatever you've got going on, I am more than happy. If you're in the mud with it, I will get in the mud with you and just sit there and listen. And if you want some feedback, I will give you feedback. And other than that, we're just going to let that be that for now. Remember, go to theripaverse.com, pick up your copy of ISOM number 2. If you didn't pick up ISOM number 1, pick up ISOM number 1 on sale. It's a really great story. And let's keep independent creators moving financially. We support independent creators, and that's how we get to say bye-byes to the Hollywood nonsense, and we can just have things show up that are good, that don't even have to cost a lot of money. Like Sound of Freedom, that movie about child sex slavery that's still happening right now. Sound of Freedom is down to number 6. It's been as high this month. I mean, since it showed up on January 4th, on the 4th of July. Actually, it was number 1 on the 4th of July, and it's been as high as number 1, and it hung out at number 3 for a good minute, and then it was hanging out at number 5 for the last few weeks, and now it's looking like it might be around number 6, but it's still in the top 10. Sound of Freedom. The story of Tim Ballard, the guy who started Underground Railroad. Another example of people seeing something wrong and committing to doing something about it. Because he was a Homeland Security agent, and his job was to find pedophiles. So yeah, he could find the pedophiles, and he worked at it for 12 years, but he was unable as a government operative to find the children, because there was a requirement that the child be either in the U.S. or connected with someone who's in the U.S. And the story for the movie Sound of Freedom was regarding children from Honduras that were down in Colombia. And they just found a way to make it work. And that's also the name of the game. If you know something that you need to be doing, that you want to do, you can find a way to make it work. Just open yourself to the universe, say, hey, I got this thing I'm looking at, it doesn't look good, I think I can help, how can I help, please help me. And you will just be amazed how the universe will just see you there and meet you at the doorstep of your vision, at the doorstep of your mission. It simply requires for you to show up, for you to make a decision, for you to commit to your mission. Gonna let this go for right now and charge up the battery, and who knows, maybe we'll make another video before the night's over. Hey! And if not, we love you long time. Thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. Remember, go to the Rippaverse.com. That's RIPPAVERSE.com. Rippaverse.com. Pick up your ISOM copies. Go see the movie Sound of Freedom, please, so we can continue to shine the light on this tragedy of human trafficking and child sex slavery. And we will speak unto you again really, really soon. Oh, bye-bye, everybody. Yeah.